Greetings and salutations, my friends. Welcome to the final game of the season, which, you know, means only one thing, and that is we won the league and everybody's happy now. Let's move on to the next season. Okay. Yeah, went a bit well, it carried on going tits up. It went even more titted, high-titted upped. That's what it basically did. After the Marseille result, we had a good draw against Celtic, but then we lost 2-1 against Aberdeen. Willie Cockburn with another goal. And then lost 2-1 against Ross County. I've gone back to probably, I think, my best tactic of FM19. Like, I had to fix something. And by this point, it was kind of clear that we weren't going to make the top group. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go there. We've got just about enough players to play it. I'll show you in a minute. And this is our first game. We played all right, then had a man sent off and they scored 2 quick goals. We then drew with Hibs, lost to Aberdeen. But both these games were okay. And then because one of the good things, think of the positive, silver lining, being in the bottom half is we get to play all the shit teams. So we beat all the shit teams. Motherwell 2-1, Crawford and Hartley, St Johnstone 2-0, Crawford and Adkins, Ross County 1-0, Caboogs, Dundee United 2-1, Alan Hartley and Mark Wright, the centre-back. So today we're playing Wraith in the final game. Here's the league table. We also obviously got knocked out the cup, which was the cup game. Yeah, the Aberdeen one. A really annoying thing happened in this game. They were the much better team. They fully deserved to go through. But in the 91st minute, the ball came in from wide area. Our player sort of flicked it on or went up to head it, missed the ball completely, and then their player was at the back post, and their player headed it into the goal as an own goal. And I'm like fucking celebrating it, giving it some Tim Hedman for old people, and didn't notice that it didn't actually go in at all. It was disallowed, and I was like, well, how could you disallow a own goal? And then so I watched the replay and it just says the referee's blown his whistle, but no reason. And I watched it back and I couldn't see how it wasn't offside, there wasn't any pushing going on. I have no idea why it was disallowed. Very dodgy. Right. The league table looks like this. Finished in 7th. I think it actually almost worked because we would, even like we said before, if we got into that 6th spot, there was quite a big gap. I know Aberdeen have closed that gap, but there was a big gap. So we would then have to scrape into 6th and then pretty much beat all these big teams to maybe have a chance of getting to 5th for that Europa League spot. At the end of the day, that probably wasn't going to happen anyway. And this way, we got to play easier teams, so we get the morale back up of the team and win a bit of support from the players who don't support me and stuff. But also, I think it actually helps with the board. They're only satisfied, but I think if we'd finished 6th and then gone into the split, let's say won a game, drew a game and lost 4, which is realistic, then I feel like the board would have been more unhappy with me than if we just finished where we were but won the last 4 games of the season, hopefully the 5th today. So, yeah, so this is the tactic. You'll know it. It's one I played a few times in the Journeyman. We've played it a bit in this thing. I think it's, with tweaks, we'll tweak it as we go, but I think it's the best tactic. Bosniak has just fallen off a cliff, not literally, because obviously, you know, you'd be injured. But he scored 2 goals. He went on this goal drought and then scored 2 goals against Kilmarnock and then played a 6.4, 6.4, 6.3, 6.3, 6.4, 6.4, 6.4, 6.4. Like, horrific run of form. And obviously, he's like, getting subbed a lot. He got dropped that game, and then for the last sort of 4 games, I'm playing him on as an inside forward. Reason being, like, he's actually a very good inside forward, but also just to give him a bit of confidence, maybe a different position will help him. He's actually very good because he's got decent crossing as well, which inside forwards still do some of. We've got Boogs playing on the right hand side because actually he's a really good winger, like an amazing winger. He's valued at £8 million. He is improving massively. I just tried to... He's got a year left on, or 2 years left on his deal. I tried to give him a new contract. He wanted a big pay rise. He wanted 15 grand a week. So I'm not sure if we're going to be able to keep him for long, I think we probably keep him for another year and then sell him for a shit ton, because I can't see me being able to afford his wages, sadly. But I think he's very, very good. So, last game of the season, we're going to play the 2 young centre-backs, which we played last game. Give them a bit more experience. Inelman's going to go in goal. Ryan Miller's just back from injury as well. He had quite a nasty injury. Hartley's playing up front. Just give the youngster more experience. That we don't need to win this, so we might as well just, rotate the team a little bit and give a couple of the youngsters a bit more game time. The tactic is all right. It's not full-on high press. It's a medium press with decent amount of closing down and stuff, but also with the attacking wing-backs. And I think the inside forward is a really good role. And just to almost mix it up a bit, we've got a winger on the right-hand side, because I actually really rate wingers. I think wingers can get easily as many goals as inside forwards. And Kabugo's just like perfect for it. Old Boogs. Right. The worry is that obviously he's valued at £8 million. I think a team could quite easily come in the summer with a £15 million bid, and I don't think my board are going to turn it down. That's the worrisome part. Go on, Crawford. It's deflected. Corner ball. Yeah, so I don't know what it was. This has been one of the weirdest seasons. Like we said before, it's okay. Like we said before, it was just this run of you're terrible at football and this tactic doesn't work. This tactic is brilliant. Now it's really shit for a bit. Now this tactic is great. And now it's also terrible for a bit. It was so up and down. There was you could break it up into probably 6 patches of when it was actually working really well, and then the tactic just didn't work anymore. The team were playing shit. I don't know whether it's... Obviously, it's not just tactics, so it must be something else. It could be because we do have a very, very young team, so that morale, that fragility in the morale, we lose a couple of games or get unlucky and then morale drops too quick. We saw the lack of support, which I'm still angry about the lack of support in this team. But, I think there's lots of combining factors. So another year with all the players is always going to be a good thing. I think if we're going to commit to this next season, we can look to do some business. I think we'll have a little bit of money to spend, because I still think we've got about 9 million in the bank. So we should get at least, I'd say, 8 million quid to spend next year, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Go on, boys. Finish on a high. I was thinking about this earlier, right? I was really annoyed. You've seen the last couple of episodes, especially my goalkeeper rant, right? And I've had a nice long session of recording tonight. I've recorded about 5 episodes in a row. And at least 4 of the episodes, I've just been sad and annoyed and depressed of playing shit. And it's weird, because most other games, right? If I'm not enjoying it, I'm like, well, I just won't play it. Common sense and stuff. If I'm playing League of Legends or whatever, I'll go, I'm not enjoying this. This is really annoying. I'm not going to play it anymore. It makes sense. Oh, Boogs is down. Boogs is down. Go on then, Saunders. Doesn't really matter. But Football Manager is one of those games, despite the fact I was having a really tough time, nothing seemed to be working, we couldn't get any traction with the tactic for very long and all that sort of stuff. It makes you want to almost play it more. When you're on a good winning run, you want to play more, because it's keep the good times rolling. I want to play more, win loads of games. This is great fun. I'm smashing teams. But when you're playing bad, although you're really annoyed, you're like, I'm gonna fucking fix this. I'm gonna spend an hour on tactics and try and work my way out of it. I'm gonna just get to the transfer window so I can sort this shit out. And so it never stops you playing it, which is probably one of the most amazing things about this game. Even when you're depressed and angry at the game, you're like, I'm going to play more because I'm going to fix it. How's that a penalty? How's that a penalty? Oh, he didn't. Oh, he went in too hard, did he? Jesus Christ. Come on, Owen. Do it for the Crocodiles. Mbop's taking it. Owen saves it. That's what he does. It should never have been a penalty. Let's give Fito a game because he's going to be sold in the summer because he's a whingy bitch. And one bit of actual good news is that, you know, for pretty much the entire season, Steve Cameron's been unhappy because he lost trust in me. A couple of weeks ago, he says, you know what? I haven't lost trust in you anymore. I'm happy to stay. I'm like, okay. After we had our shittest run of the entire season, it's now that he decides he's regained trust. It's good, don't get me wrong. All right, come on, boys. Finish with a win. Big header. Big header! It's going to be a foul, isn't it? Because it touched the goalkeeper. Yep, of course. Of course. You're not allowed to go near the goalkeepers. That's an unwritten rule in football. If you tickle them, it's a foul and possibly a red card. Fronty's playing well, so is the goalkeeper. I think another of the plus points of this season has been it's nice actually having two goalkeepers compete now. I think it's really good. I think Elvis and Irwin. We'll have a little comparison. I wanted to sort of play a bunch of games each this season and have a little comparison to see how they're getting on. But it's nice having two good players. And we'll also talk about who we're going to sell. Because we will need, especially with the wages, we will need to sell as well. We're not one of the. It's so different to playing in the, say, managing in the Premier League. If you're a low team, let's say you start off in the conference and you work your way up slowly to the Premier League. Once you get in the Premier League, you just get so much money thrown at you that it's easy. It's kind of easy. Even if you get relegated or have a struggle first season, it doesn't matter. You've suddenly got 50 million quid in the bank. In Scotland, it doesn't work that way. There's still not that much money. And if you can't bring in the fans, you're still pretty screwed. Okay, let's have a look then. I'm going to compare you, sir, with Mr. Elvis. This is what interests me. So, Ian Owen, 3-star current ability, 5-star potential. Okay? Elvis, 3.5-star current ability, 3.5-star potential. So he's at his max. But he's also better than Ian Owen. So keep that in mind as we quickly discover that Ian Owen is the better goalkeeper. And obviously there's hidden stats and all that sort of stuff. I know. But that's why you don't always go with like your star rating. So he's a better shot stopper, better distribution, which is important. Aerially slightly better. He's a bit more of a nutcase, which is better for a sweeper keeper. And the very other stuff is very, very close. So he's actually doing all right. I want to have a look at the statistics. So only one appearance less. Look at the difference in conceded. That's remarkable. One game less, he's conceded 21 less goals. So he's conceded 0.6, like twice as many goals. Average rating is only 0.03 more. Which is weird. His pass completion is 3% better. He concedes 20 less goals, and his rating is just a tiny bit better over the course of a season. It shows how broken goalkeeper ratings are. It's really, really quite terrible. But I think the main thing is we've got two goalkeepers that we can rotate. When one's in form, we can use him, I think. So, Adkins, despite having a real rough patch in the middle of the season, I think everybody did. I think I'm completely happy with him for another season. We've also got Nanny McVie, who's an able backup, so happy with that. Derwin had a very solid season. I'm happy with that. We need another left back next season on loan or another person because obviously he's a loanee. Centre backs I'm delighted with. We've got Cameron, we've got Mr. Willie Cockburn, we've got Ryan Mullen, and then we've got the two youngsters as well. I might look to loan out one, I think, next season. If we're going to go two centre-backs, we don't need 5. as a defensive midfielder, we've got Big Dunk, who I really like, and we don't really have any backup. Cockburn I suppose he could play there. I think we played him there a little bit. He can't really pass, which is a slight issue. So we'll need to look for somebody as a backup there. As the advanced playmaker, we've got Miller and we've got Fabbers. So that's golden. Crawford as the box-to-box midfielder. We'll need another player in for that. Kabugo, I'm going to keep him as a right. I know he can play as a striker. I know he's a really good striker. But I believe in Bosniak, okay? He had a bit of a rough end to the season, but I believe in him. And he can play up front. We need another right winger anyway, so then Kabugo can just float around depending on how well the other players are playing. And the other big one is obviously a left inside forward is the other big option we need. I think Bosniak can play there, so can Kabugs as well. As for who might be leaving us this summer, I think Gallagher might go. I might just cash in on him. He had that horrific injury, which basically missed the entire season, which it was horrible. But he's valued at 4 million, and he's on a big wage, so might cash in on him. Perez, I think his time is over. He had that little spell, started off the season terribly, but then managed to. I think 4 of those were penalties, though. To be fair. So I think we've got a decent squad. We've also got a few reserves that are coming along nicely. Tom Jack's leaving us. We've got Grimmer, who's another one of our goalkeepers. He actually came through our youth system. He played 24 games in the Premier League. Sorry, Premiership. Like this season. Where did St Johnstone finish? Oh, bottom of the league. Okay. Okay. That says, he's not that good. We also have a right back, Stuart Taylor, who's out on loan at the moment. We got 150k, who could do a job if we have a bit of an injury crisis, but we don't have to worry too much about it. So our squad isn't that bad. Hopefully we'll get a decent chunk of money to spend. Let's go and have a quick look. Who's going to win the Player of the Year? Well, it was nailed on for about half of it. It was nailed on that it was Bosniak was our Player of the Season. But I don't think it can be now. Who's got the best rating over the course of a season? Willie Cockburn. That's what I want to win it. Mr. Solid himself. 7.15, 42 appearances, 2 goals and 2 assists. I'll be delighted if he gets it. And then maybe as the young player, give it to Mullen would be nice. Who else would... Hartley, but then again, when he had that injury, he came back and he was pretty terrible after that. So, yeah, I want some money to spend. Okay, here we go. Hey, Atkins is in our best 11 ever. He's been very, very consistent for us. Okay, end of season awards. Yes, Willie Cockburn scrapes it with 34%. Signing the season at Ian Irwin. Not bad for 250k. And it's Mullers. I called it. I bloody called it. Mullers gets Young Player of the Season. Flat to the scene. Found this finish squarely in mid-table. Dismal campaign. Oh, it's not dismal. Well below expectation for the majority of the season and descending into a tailspin that saw them drop from 7th to 11th. That's not a tailspin, is it? 7th to 11 is... Fucking hell. Is this The Sun, is it? The newspaper? Fucking hell. A tailspin that saw us dropped 4 places. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Thanks for that game. You cheered me up. Oh, we need to see if anybody supports me. Oh, God, what do we say for next season? I think we're going for European qualification. Right. I think that makes the most sense. That's where we've got to be looking. Do we not know how much money we've got? Come on, give us the cash money. Yeah. And we need to look at the dynamics, see if anybody likes me. What? We're already upgrading the facilities. Okay, we'll look at that in a minute. Anybody support me? Who's my buddy? Yeah, Elvis. Yes, one player that actually belongs to the club. I made your whole fucking career, Elvis, so you better bloody support me. You got 65 caps for Scotland because of me. Plucking you away from Celtic, where you were rotting. Okay. Okay. Miller, Elvis, Kaboogs, Bosniak and Marrett. Wow, Marrett, the loanee from Man United. So our competition prize money's gone up by 2 million. Obviously the Europa League run. Revenue gone up a little bit there. Sponsorships stayed the same. Corporate and hospitalities rocked right up. And match day commercial and retail. Good stuff. Okay. Give me... Is 10 million too much to ask for? I haven't checked our bank account in a few months. I think it was about 7 million, 8, 9 million. Oh, what? And the wages are the same. I just upped the budget to 200 so I could offer... what? Okay, so what's going on here then? I'm so confused. We're already doing it. That's why it's halfway through. I'm not going mental, am I? So we just magically pissed away 3.3 million. Yeah, pretty much. On facilities that we were already upgrading. When does it say it's going to finish? 7 months. When does this finish? 7 months. But we started like almost a year ago. Maybe that was the planning phase or something. I don't know. That just seems weird. Oh, 2.2 million. 2.6 million. I have to work my fucking magic here, boys. If we can get Perez, we can get 5 million for Perez. He's still relatively young. If we can get 4 million for Gallagher, that's 8 million. Fato, if we can get 4 million, that's 12 million. How much are they going to give us for this? 75%. So that's 8 million quid. That's not how numbers work. That's actually while we're here. Okay, I can't push it because I'm not in a power position. They might just go, well, fuck off then. Okay, 75%. Okay, so we might be able to squeeze 10 million to spend if we can get the sales through. That's doable. I think we'll have to go loanies again and then maybe spend the money on an inside forward and a winger, I think. And then get a loanee backup DM, a loanee backup left back, and maybe one other. There we go. The season is done. Not the best season. It was entertaining in a horrible self-harm type way of it's going so well. Oh, now we're shit. Oh, it's going really well. We had a good run in Europe, though. Europe was fun. I'm proud of we went out, Man City Leeds in the final. We went out poorly against Marseille. Didn't deserve the spanking especially that first leg, but I had a good run. That was our best run in Europe yet. So, and we got to the semi-final of a cup. It wasn't all terrible, but next season, no European football. We can just concentrate on the league. I think we're going to fly through it a bit because we've just got a league campaign. We don't have to show tons of European football. And, FM20's coming out soon, so we've got to stop yo-yoing and actually challenge for the league again and get into the bloody Champions League. Right, there we go, my friends. Give this video a pity like, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.